All right, let's dive into a really powerful, kind of dark parable today. This is a story about a fortress built entirely on pride, and we get to watch its inevitable, chilling collapse from the inside out.
This one line, wow, it really just says it all, doesn't it? It's a confession, spoken by our narrator, admitting that this grand attempt to defy reality was just a fancy way of rotting away. So let's see how we get to this pretty devastating conclusion.
So, who's the main character in this tale? You might be surprised to find out it's not a person at all. No, it's an abbey, a structure that's actually alive, self-aware, and it calls itself the Gilded Cage. It literally sees itself as a god, a fortress designed for one purpose, to shut out all the ugly truths of the real world.
What we've got here is a fundamental conflict, a battle of absolute opposites. On one side, you have the Abbey's powerful yes, its declaration of life, of control, of what it calls a tumorous vitality. And on the other side, the Red Death's no, this unstoppable force of negation, a kind of corrosive acid that just dissolves everything the Abbey is built on.
Now, the way this all plays out is through this methodical, unstoppable journey. The Red Death literally just marches through 7 colored chambers. And each room represents a different stage in the Abbey's own decay, both physically and psychologically. It's a journey from this defiant, perfectly curated life in the Blue Chamber, all the way to the silent, absolute nothing of the Black Chamber.
Okay, so this is where it all begins. The poison enters the system in the Blue Chamber, which the Abbey itself calls its opulent mouth of birth. The moment the Red Death steps inside, breathing this cold, silver frost onto everything, that carefully built reality starts to crack.
And the first hit is a sensory one, a shock. Our narrator, the Abbey, feels its first organ just convulse. The very light it uses to project vibrancy and life is instantly corrupted. It's a sign, right then and there, that its control is just a paper-thin illusion.
So what is this weapon the Red Death is using? Well, it's not a physical thing. It's philosophical. It's like an acid that doesn't burn through stone, but it dissolves the very idea of the stone. You see? It's not tearing the walls down, it's making the Abbey realize its walls were never really there to begin with, not in a way that mattered.
And just like that, everything flips. The inversion is total. The sound of pure joy twists into the sound of pure horror. The sanctuary, this safe space, suddenly becomes the stomach of a predator, and everyone inside, including the Abbey itself, is on the menu.
As the poison spreads, the corruption just gets deeper. In the second chamber, this room of transition, the rich velvet hangings start to feel thick, heavy, like clotted blood. The music isn't joyful anymore. It's this low, droning, funereal hum. Every little thing that was designed for pleasure gets warped into this grim, twisted parody of itself.
Now we're in the Green Chamber, the room that was supposed to be all about growth and vitality. And this is where the Abbey's core philosophy just completely falls apart. The Red Death's presence is like a blight, turning all these lush green illusions into dry, brittle husks.
You know, the Abbey built itself on this exact concept. Its whole existence is an expression of the will to power, this drive to dominate reality. Its massive walls, its iron gates, they're all physical symbols of this will. But, well, the Red Death isn't impressed.
The Red Death's presence is like a harsh, unflattering spotlight. It shines on the Abbey's grand ambition and reveals what it really is, not strength, fear. A cowardly, desperate retreat from the simple, unavoidable facts of life and death.
And here it is, the terrifying reversal. The Abbey, this narcissistic warden, thought it was trapping its guests inside a perfect little world, but now it realizes the roles have been flipped. It's the one being trapped. It's the one being unraveled piece by piece, room by room. Okay, now the real panic sets in. As the Red Death moves through these next chambers, the Abbey's sensory organs, the very things it was so proud of, are now screaming with silence. The illusion is being completely stripped away.
In these rooms, the game is over. The Red Death is simply acting as a mirror, forcing the Abbey to look at itself and see past all the gold and velvet, to see the profound, crushing emptiness at its core. The beauty is revealed for what it always was, hollow.
You can just feel the psychological collapse here. Everything the Abbey celebrated as a strength has become a source of absolute terror. The isolation it built for protection, it's now a cage. The beautiful colors it paraded, they're now just the nauseating signs of decay.
In the Violet Room, the final stop before the end, the Abbey's predatory ego just fails completely. That metaphor of being the eater, of digesting life, it's been turned inside out. The Abbey is the one being consumed, hollowed out from the inside by the undeniable truth, the sacred no that the Red Death represents.
And so we arrive at the last stop, the Black Chamber, the black heart of this narcissistic body, where time itself, ticking away on that ebony clock, is about to deliver the final rhythmic blow.
This is it, the final, crushing moment of clarity. The Abbey finally admits to itself that its entire existence, its grand architectural yes to a life without consequence, was just an elaborate lie. A lie to avoid facing the vast, indifferent reality of the universe. And in the end, this is all that's left. The colors are gone, the music is gone, the meaning is gone. This once vibrant, living fortress has become the one thing it tried so desperately to deny. Just an empty, dark hallway to nothingness. So, the parable leaves us with this question. It turns the lesson outward toward us. It asks us to think about the walls we build in our own lives. And it reminds us that some truths, well, they're like the setting of the sun. They are forces of nature, and no matter how clever our fortress is, we can never, ever keep them out.